Why skydiving?
We jumped from a height of 4,000 meters. Kept insisting to call my wife and let her know what I'm going to do. I don't even remember pulling my chute. I was so scared.
You went to a shooting range.
This was the trip where I nearly lost my life. You're going to die.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, my name is Suleiman Aneru and I'm the guy who tells stories around the world. In this episode, I am going to be talking to someone, a very important friend of mine who recently did some adventurous things that I'm interested to share with the world. So like I often say, it is not only the stories that I witnessed, but I also like to tell the stories from other people's eyes. And in this particular episode, this friend of mine was in a number of countries in Europe and he did a lot of interesting, amazing, wonderful things. And I felt, why do I just have to hear it alone? I would like to share it with you, and that is why I'm going the extra length of having to call him. The guy is sometimes camera shy, but I've been able to tell him that it's just freestyle, it's unscripted. I'm just going to ask him a few questions about his experiences, and I trust that you are going to enjoy all of the wonderful things he has to say. So guys, this is where I would also say, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please hit the subscribe button, like this video, share with your friends, and encourage us to keep telling the beautiful stories that exist all around the world. And maybe your story will be next story we have to share. Can you tell us who you are, what's your name, and just a brief summary of yourself?
Okay, my name is Bhari Bello. I'm a friend and colleague of Sly, like he has said, and a keen supporter. So before I even go far, just go and subscribe.
Okay.
For starters, yeah. I work with him, and our families have also grown to become close. I like adventure. I like to get closer to my God, and I like my family. That's it. Yeah, that's all you need to know for now.
Okay. Why we are interested in talking to him today was because he recently had a European tour. So how was the experience touring Europe?
It was unforgettable.
Okay.
I mean, I had looked forward to it for a long time, but I didn't really have the opportunity until recently. Time wasn't enough, it never is, but it was nice. I just want to repeat it. That's where I am right now.
Wow. So can you just tell us how many countries in Europe you touched during this your tour?
5 countries.
Okay.
Started with Germany, then Austria, and then we went to Bratislava. Bratislava is in Slovakia, and then we went to Ljubljana in Slovenia, and then Zagreb, Croatia, back to Austria, and then I went to Amsterdam from there, yeah, the Netherlands, and back to Nigeria.
Sounds like you had a blast. So why I'm talking to you today was something that you did that I think was amazing, and it is skydiving.
Yeah.
So you traveled all the way from your comfort zone, you were in Europe, and you decided that you were going to go kilometers up into the sky and dive from there. So why skydiving?
Not just skydiving. Anything touching on the extreme is something I want to do, as long as the necessary safety measures are in place. So skydiving is something. There's this channel. I don't know if it's a channel or it's just a titled thingy called People Are Awesome, and one of the videos you often see are different forms of skydiving where they like do formations in the sky during free fall, and it's something you see and you always want to do. So yeah, I wanted to try it.
Okay, so now you eventually have done it, and how was the experience?
It was scary, it was exhilarating, it was therapeutic sort of. It was just fun. I think fun is all encapsulating for now.
Can you tell us the procedure from beginning to the end as briefly as possible?
Okay, so this was tandem jumping, which meant it wasn't a lot was not in your control, so it's very safe. It's about the safest skydiving you can do. So arrived, registered, paid, did a 15-minute video of instructions telling you what to do, and then met my co-skydiver, the person really in control. He introduced himself to me, ran through the safety precautions again and what I would need to do. Within 10 minutes, we got in the plane, took off, and that was it.
Okay, so it sounds so simple. When you started the process, was there at any point in time when you felt, I'm taking a big risk with my life, I want to turn back, I want to stop? Did you feel so at any point?
I was scared at various points. but I never felt like I was taking a big risk with my life. Like I said, that was probably like their 7th jump that day. The 7th time the plane was taking off. More. And I could see the process from the preparation before each jump. Each person checking his line, his parachute, everything, and the second person taking a look. They were really prepared. And I know this is typically a very safety conscious industry. So I wasn't scared for my life. I was scared, excited, until I landed. I was there with a friend, and the friend said he kept insisting to call my wife before I did it and let her know this is what I'm going to do, let her know where I was and all that. But I never did, because look, you're going to die. Sorry, everybody is going to die. Just take safety seriously, but it doesn't mean you won't just do anything. So going back was never an option.
So now, who can do this? Can anybody who feels like, because they are seeing your story, they have heard from you, they want to try this, can anybody do this? Or are there specific kind of people? Maybe is there a size restriction? Is there a height restriction? Who should be able to do this?
Okay, so the general answer is anybody, but yeah, there are exceptions. I'm sure pregnant women can do it.
Okay.
I'm sure if you have certain specific health challenges, they won't let you do it. Some of them just simply above 90 kg, they won't take you for a tandem jump.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, you would need to get in shape to do it with most of them.
So from the explanation you are giving now, I can say it's relatively safe.
Very safe.
After your experience, would you recommend and advise that people try this? Would you say, I have done this and I recommend anybody should try this?
Definitely, 100%. 100%.
Okay.
I mean, if you're a really scared person, I can imagine someone passing out at the moment you exit the plane. That's really one of the scariest moments.
Okay.
And when you open your eyes and you see everything beneath you, I can actually imagine certain people passing out. So tread carefully, but I mean, if you don't have any extreme reactions to things like that, then definitely try it out.
Okay.
Try it out in a place with a good safety record that you can check.
Would you recommend the place you tried yours to anybody?
100%. Very professional, very straightforward. 100%. The place is called Krems in Austria.
Okay, so we'll put the link and the details in the description below. Because Bhari is recommending, I will take his word for it. So just check that place. If you ever want to do skydiving in Austria, those are your contacts. You talked about tandem jumping, and this is what you did. Now, would you consider ever doing a solo jump?
Okay. So, interesting fact, this is my second jump. My first jump was a solo jump.
Okay.
Yes. I jumped in 2009 or 8 in Moscow.
Okay.
And it was a solo jump. That was a bit different. We spent about 4 or 5 hours having like instructions, and then we jumped from a height of 800 meters.
Whoa.
So and this was one of the motivations for me to do this. This one was 4,000 meters.
Okay.
So the 800 meters never felt like a jump to me, because
it was
like a blur.
I
jumped. I have no recollection of
what happened
of the free fall. So the jump has 2 phases: the free fall, and then the sort of after you've deployed your parachutes, when you're just gliding and then landing. So maybe 3 phases.
Okay.
But the first solo jump I did, I have no recollection of the free fall. I just remember coming out of the plane and then pulling my chute. I don't even remember pulling my chute. I don't know if my chute deployed automatically or if I pulled it. I was so scared. That was how that experience was. So yeah, but to answer your question, yes, I intend to do a solo jump. There are steps to it. I would need to be in the right location and have money, obviously.
Okay.
I would need to do a few more tandem jumps before I get to
this phase where you are comfortable to do a proper solo jump from that height.
Yes.
Interesting conversation, guys. If you have not subscribed yet, this is where you should subscribe, because this is premium gist. It's not every day you meet someone in this capacity, sharing his experience, telling his story. Please subscribe, share, like, and let's promote this channel, because this is where you get premium gist. This is unscripted, as you can see. Everything here that happens in this channel is 100% unscripted. So he said he was willing to go and do a solo jump, maybe jump from maybe 5,000 or higher. I don't know. But I would like to say that if his wife is listening to this, this is a disclaimer. I am not saying he should do or not do. He's an adult and he can make up his mind. But there was one other thing he did that I would just like to touch on briefly. You went to a shooting range and you fired some shots.
Yeah.
So how was that?
You know, when you asked about the parachute, the skydiving, I said it was therapeutic. Shooting guns was even more therapeutic.
Okay.
So there are different packages. You get to pick guns. There are some that are outright crazy. You can shoot up to 20 guns if you want.
Okay.
There are real guns, real bullets. Yeah, so your pocket determines how far you're able to go.
Okay.
So I shot, I went for the package where I shot 4 guns, a Glock, which is a pistol, an AK-47, everyone knows AK-47, a shotgun, and a sniper rifle. And I remember when we had, again, with an instructor, these ones are even stricter. You can't even move. Any funny movement is not allowed. So I had shot the pistol and then the AK, and then the first shot on the sniper rifle, the recoil was a shocker. I wasn't expecting it. And even everyone laughed. My friend I went with and the instructor, they just burst out in laughter. Particularly the instructor, because he knew it was coming and we didn't know it. But it was fun. Another thing I would definitely do again.
Wow. So in which of the European countries did you
So this was in Slovakia.
Is this a location you would also recommend for people to go?
100%. 100%.
Gun control is required in the world. That's my personal opinion. But I have that in my bucket list as well. So even though I have not done that yet, I plan to do it. But I would mention again, and I will repeat, that I strongly believe that gun control is required in the world. And this is a disclaimer for whoever is watching this, not to feel like I'm encouraging you to go and start shooting guns or shooting rifles. What's the motivation for you to travel? Why travel? You know, people have different passions, but you like traveling. Why?
Exposure. You see different people, you see different cultures. It just broadens your horizon, makes you look at things differently. You see what other people are doing, and it helps you aim for more, really. So I'll give an example. We mentioned traveling to 4 European countries. We drove across 4 of them, you know, and just that in itself was an experience that makes you think of what could be where you are from. I mean, just think of driving from Ghana to Nigeria to Benin, and most of us won't even try it for safety and other things. But for my friend and I who did it, this was our first time in those countries, and we just hit the road, driving sometimes as late as 10, 11 at night, and you know, never felt threatened. I think people should travel as much as they can, even locally. It doesn't have to be international travel. So if you're in Nigeria and you can't afford to travel internationally, but you can afford locally, you know, as long as it's safe, I think people should grab the opportunity.
I totally agree. I have done a few bits of local travels, and I can 100% guarantee that local travels has its benefits as well. So it should not be restricted to just international travels. I would ask you one more question. In all your travels, where would you say is the most memorable place you have visited? Do you have any?
Yes, that's easy.
Okay.
Kenya, Mauritius.
Okay.
I did with you, by the way.
Okay.
You, Taufik, who has appeared in a couple of your videos already. Okay. And our wives. That was memorable for me.
Okay.
For many reasons. First, that was my first trip out of the country with my wife. So starting with Kenya, we went to Kenya first. And we went to the safari. And before going to Kenya, as a Nigerian, I would have thought, oh, Nigeria beats Kenya. But the experience was totally different. How developed the safari was, from our tents to the guides to everything, it was just mind-opening. And then Mauritius, the ocean. So this was the trip where I nearly lost my life.
Even for me, even though I'm the one who has asked you this question, it was memorable for me. So I'm happy to hear it was also memorable for you. So that was a group trip. And I know you've had a number of solo trips as well. So where would you stand? Solo trips or group trips?
All day group.
Okay.
Group, but with the right group. Very important. And not a very large group. When you have large groups, the diversity factor comes in, and taking decisions becomes hard sometimes. But when you have a small group of like-minded people who want to do the same things, that's perfect. So I'm thinking, obviously I'm at a stage in my life now where if I'm traveling, I have to think of my family, and I also want them to get that exposure and the experiences that I have. So in my head, what I think would be the ideal thing now would be to travel with a similar family or two, same wives and kids, and then have plan it in such a way that the men can get to hang out and do things for men, and the women can get to hang out and do things for women, and then everybody can get to hang out and do things for everyone, the kids included.
I think it's a wonderful idea. I would probably not run out of questions if I keep asking you, but I would just like to say at this point, thank you very much for sharing your experiences with me and with the world, because we don't know who is going to watch this. By the way, my channel is quite new, but I can tell you from the back end, I've been seeing people watching from South Africa, Turkey, Australia. The diversity is enormous, and people reach out to me and say, oh wow, I learned something new. So it's always good to just create value. You never know who you are giving that value to, and I can bet you these experiences you have just shared is going to be valuable to a lot of people, and for that reason I can't thank you enough. Maybe somehow you may just be somewhere in the world and someone will recognize you and say, oh Bhari, I am doing skydiving because of the experience you shared. And
safe place. Go to a safe place.
So he has been putting that disclaimer that if you are going to go skydiving, ensure you do it in a very safe place. Check out the records of those people before you go ahead. But in any case, I'm just going to continue to say thank you very much for agreeing to be on this episode with me, for sharing your story, for giving us an insight into your life. And I'm hopeful that this will not be the last, because we have some other trips we have done together, and all of those will be coming very soon, and I'll be bringing you back to share your experiences. So thank you very much, and my best regards to your family.
Before you cut it out, one message which is in line with something that Sly always preaches on his channels, and that's just be good. Be good to people, be good to creatures, be good to everything. And it's one of the most rewarding acts you can do. And just be good in all you do. Thank you.
Guys, I think this is where I will leave Bhari. I had no idea he was going to say that, but just imagine the kind of message he just passed right now. It's good to be good. Like, for me, it doesn't take away anything from me. I try my best with every opportunity I get to just show the good sides that there is to life. And it's a message I constantly preach, and I can tell you he's my friend and he has just emphasized it again. So just be good, and not because you want good in reward, but because that's the right thing to do. Because like for me, I do good to people because I don't expect them to pay me back. I'm not being good to you because I want you to pay me back. But that is just the natural thing to do. That is the right thing to do. And so Bhari has said it all, just be good. So at this point in time, I would like to say big shout out to Bhari again, and then big shout out to you who is watching me right now. This is not my full-time job, but I am really enjoying it, and the love, the encouragement, the support has been enormous, and I can tell you for a fact that is all the motivation that has been fueling me to keep going and to keep curating stories, curating experiences, and putting it out there. So it's not like I have one fancy camera. Like, a lot of the people who are supporting this are just supporting it because they feel this is somebody who is putting out positive content out there. Like, the person behind the camera is my very good friend. His name is Taufik Arogundade. He's going to be showing a number of videos that you'll see subsequently. But I'm getting a lot of support from my friends, from my family, from my colleagues, from strangers, people I don't know. And that has been a wonderful feeling that I cannot describe in words, and no amount of money would equate that for me. So thank you everyone who is watching. If you have subscribed, please share to someone else to subscribe, and I promise you I will continue to bring unscripted content to you. I'll continue to tell all of the amazing stories that there is in the world. I don't know where that story would be, but I am a hunter for amazing stories. So you may just be the next person who will be telling their story. it doesn't matter what your story is, but I believe the world needs to hear it. And so I tell my stories and I tell other people's stories. And so thank you very much for being a part of this episode. I'm a believer of adventure. I like skydiving, bungee jumping, car drifting, but I try as much as possible to do all of those things in a very safe manner. And so I will continue to preach safety in everything you do. Be safe out there, guys. In the meantime, catch you guys. Bye.